Oh yeah, rest week is done and I am feeling fresh. Here to talk to you about why we do them, the benefits, and clearly you can see the increased energy and how they make me feel. Jumping into week 9, my recovery week. Here we go. Welcome everyone, week 9. Again, my name is Brian the Pace Pusher. Make sure you hit subscribe as we are only 9 weeks into this journey. We've got a lot more weeks to go. My journey from 26.2 to 100 miles, running the Keys 100 in May, and we are on my first recovery week of this whole training plan, and let me tell you, it was a breath of fresh air. One of the days I came home and I said, do I go run my 6 miles or do I take it off? And I chose to take it off. This week was all about recovery, and so let's jump right into what was done and how many days and how it felt. So as we do every week, this week it was 5 runs over 7 days. Took an additional rest day in there. 61.26 miles. 7 hours, 53 minutes, 36 seconds for a total of 7:44 per mile. One of the things that I like to do with this is try to get around 20 to 30% less mileage than what I was doing. I was averaging in the high 70s in the month of February. So for this month, for this week, I dropped 23% in my mileage. That is really awesome from that. Not only was my mileage reduced, but I really took it easy on these runs. So take a look at these heart rates. We had 133, 135, 134, and 137. I forgot my heart rate monitor for one of them, but look at how low these heart rates are. They're all well below 140, and so really taking that rest to the next level was really important for me this week, as well as got a little bit of extra sleep in, which was really nice. So the body feels fresh heading in this coming week. I'm starting it off with a little training run called the Los Angeles Marathon. So it's a little bit different, but jumping right into some bigger miles coming into it. And I know March is going to be a bunch of low 80, mid 80, sometimes in the upper 80 mileage weeks. So this rest week was awesome. I'm not going to dive into workouts simply because there's really nothing to talk about. It was a bunch of easy miles and that's boring. So instead, what I'm going to talk about is why we do recovery weeks and the benefits to them and what I have found personally. So for the duration of my running career, which started in about 2008 post-collegiate, is I have done 3 to 4 week builds and then 1 week down. And the reason that I do this is twofold. One, I feel that it mentally and physically gets me recovered, which is extremely key because for number 2, it allows me to push harder on the backside of these recovery weeks. And so what I'm doing is really building up and loading up my muscles and my body for these 3-4 week durations, letting it recover, and then building it back up again. And so you're thinking about these tabletops where you're going across and then you keep going up. And that's what I'm trying to build, is increase the height of my training, increase the ability that I have, and that's what I found. So I want to dive into those two a little bit for you. So let's go into the mental and the physical recovery. The physical, there's a lot of data that backs this up. So for example, there's an article out of Stanford Medicine that talks about when you do these cycles where you peak for 3 or 4 weeks and then you drop down, it reduces the increased opportunity for stress fracture. And so what this is if you think about it, the higher the miles and a recovery week, it's bringing down that risk of a stress fracture for the simple fact that as you continue to put fatigue and continue to put fatigue and the pounding and the pounding and the pounding on your legs, what happens is your body starts to break down in order to build it back up, similar to how not just your muscles, but your bones are doing the same thing. So think of consistent pounding, the bones are trying to get stronger and stronger, and then you don't take that 1 week off and you have that consistent pounding going on your legs. That's where people start to develop stress fractures. Or it could be an anatomical issue as well. But you take that 1 week off, that allows those bones and the bone cells to really build up that base and build up that strength that you've worked hard to do. So it allows those bones and allows those muscles to recover. There's another article out of Ball State that talks about you have 1 month of hard training and then you take that recovery time. They're seeing up to 60% reduction in muscle fatigue, damage, as well as inflammation, which is extremely key in the ability to repair the muscles. And so these are two of many articles that talk about different things. These are two that I kind of took out because I like that it talked about major things that runners struggle with, inflammation as well as stress fractures. So those are two of the big things. Not to mention the mental fatigue. Many of us have gone through 20, 24, even 12-week cycles that really mentally take us out, and it's a lot of time to focus on and really push hard during that time frame. This week allows you to, like I did on Friday, if you feel like going out for a run and you don't, take that day off and really get that, just put some miles in on that week. For me, I said, okay, I want to get anywhere between 55 and 65 miles this week, and I ended up around just over 61. So it allows that mind to be able to recover and really adjust for it. And luckily I did it this week because coming in, we're going to have a bunch of rain. Everyone knows how much I love rain. So my recovery week is leading right into a mentally tough week, which is good. So those are kind of two of the aspects from breaking down the physically and allowing it to recover, and then allowing that mental fatigue to relapse or to come back and not relapse and allow you to not focus on your training. The next aspect is the ability to push harder on that backside. So now that your body and your mind has recovered, it allows those muscles to work even harder and build up and be able to press faster and longer through that duration. So a lot of the times, especially in my marathon training, this one I'm just going to go longer, but in my marathon training, what we'll do is we'll up my VDOT number, or I'll increase my paces on my miles or my tempos or things like that, or get closer to what my actual goal race pace is after these week trainings. And that allows my body to go, okay, you had a nice week recovery, now it's time to start working hard again. And you read plenty of articles about the benefit of rest and why rest is important in running. And they talk about how sometimes after a difficult workout, you have 36 to 48 hours for that body to recover. Well, this is taking that a little bit towards that extreme end, taking that full 1 week, really recovering, really resting. So that way, when you come out on that backside, your body's firing, you're ready, and we're dialed in for that next training cycle, which is what I'm gonna need coming into March. So, done with this week. It was solid. I'm so pumped on that rest, and man, am I ready for week number 10, which is going to be starting off with the Los Angeles Marathon, going out there just to run for a training run focused all on heart rate, but it is an awesome race and can't wait to tell you guys about that race recap. So for week 9, recover hard, make sure you're taking that time to rest, because if you don't, there's more opportunities for injury, more opportunities for burnout, and more time for you to have to potentially take away from the thing that you love and we all love, which is running. Make sure you hit subscribe. Look forward to catching up for you on week 10 and talking about the Los Angeles Marathon. Have a great week, everybody.
Halfway into this 20, continue it up. Class